What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. Today I'm obviously outside. It's a beautiful day today, and I figured, why waste a beautiful day inside when you can waste a beautiful day outside? That's just how I see it. So in this video, I have some good news. I have some bad news. Or I don't even know if you'd want to call it bad news. Kind of sad news though, considering it's April 1st, of course. We're going to get into it, but really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for daily videos, subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos, get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club for live streams, giveaways, deal alerts, and a whole lot more. And of course, go and get your free couple of stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. Everything is linked in the description. So today is Monday, April 1st, 2022. That's right, the 1st of April, April 1st. And there were a couple things that I wanted to talk about in this video. And you'll also notice that I will not be editing this video, at least I hope not. I hope there's not anything that I need to tweak or whatever. I won't be putting up any image overlays. I won't be doing anything like that. When I mentioned the merchandise, I didn't put that up on screen. Nope. I just want to hit record, talk about what I need to talk about, stop recording, and upload it as is. So, as you can probably tell from the title of the video, I made a decision. I actually made the decision at midnight this morning. As soon as the clock hit 12, I don't know, something just came over me and I made the decision. I will be parting ways with my silver and gold, almost all of it, so that I could use the currency to pursue a career as a rapper. Yes, that's right. Now that that's out of the way, I wanted to talk about a couple of other things related to silver and gold and go over the last couple of years of the stacking journey or the stacking experience for me, starting with the very end of 2017, or actually starting even earlier than that. Because yeah, I got started stacking in December of 2017, but I actually learned about silver before then. I learned about silver probably a year and a half prior. I don't know what took me so long to actually get involved, but I learned about it well before December of 2017. Now, by the way, as I'm filming this video on April 1st, what I'm going to be talking about in this video, or the general theme of today's video, might come as a little bit of a shock, but I guarantee you, if you stick it out and watch until the end of the video, you'll understand. But long story short, I decided at midnight that I want to become a rapper. And some of you actually may remember, if you've been subscribed to the channel since at least December of 2019, I actually did put out a joke music video at one point. It wasn't a very good one, it wasn't supposed to be, but it was titled Coins, Coins, Coins by Lil Stacky. That's the music video, that's the song that I ended up referring to myself as the white SOB in the black SUV. High quality lyrics, I know. But that was the only coin related song that I had ever done. Definitely not a musician, definitely not a rapper, but I decided at midnight, now that it's April 1st, that I want to become a rapper. And I think I'm going to be sticking with that name, Lil Stacky, as a way of honoring the precious metals for helping me get to that point. Now you might be wondering, why on God's green earth do you need to get rid of the silver and gold to become a rapper? Well, truth be told, I didn't realize how expensive it is to be a rapper. I didn't know how much currency it was going to take. I didn't realize that, yeah, just because you are a rapper, you don't have to worry about buying a guitar or drums or anything like that, but you do have to buy a higher quality microphone. You do have to pay for studio time. You do have to pay for beats. You do have to pay for production. There's a lot of stuff that you have to pay for. And rather than just sticking a toe in the water, I thought it was probably going to be a little bit more beneficial to just dive in head first. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, unfortunately, being that I live my life as pretty much a hardcore minimalist, I don't have a whole great deal of stuff to sell, but I do have the silver and the gold. Now, it's heartbreaking to even think about parting ways with the silver and gold, but since it's April 1st, it's what I decided to do so I can pursue a career as a rapper and really just go all in. So we're going to come back to this because you might have some questions. We'll come back to the whole rapper thing. But I also wanted to talk about the stacking journey, the stacking experience, because here we are on April 1st, which means we're just a hair under, or I'm just a hair under 4.5 years of stacking. It's been a really interesting journey so far, and I'd like to revisit some of my experiences and some of what I've learned and some of what I will take with me as Mykie DYDSS turns into Lil Stacky. Originally, I was thinking about maybe doing an Eminem parody and call myself the Skittle, but then I thought, yeah, you know what? I want to be taken seriously, especially on April 1st. So, going back in time now, 2017 is when I got started, but when I first learned about silver, it had to have been probably the very beginning of 2016. I did not get started right away. It took me like a year and a half. And no, I was not sitting there for a year and a half thinking about it. I actually forgot all about it. But either way, I've mentioned bits and pieces of this story before, so let me just run through it really fast. Back then, I was actually running a small business with a group of friends that I had had since childhood. All knew each other when we were like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. Went to elementary school, middle school, high school together. And we had started a business. It was like a two-part kind of business. Two very, very different things intertwined in one. And there was this one friend that we had who ended up moving when we were probably about 12 or 13. He moved out of state, so we all lost touch. And then I ended up reconnecting with him, I don't know, either on Facebook or something like that. Talking about a couple of different things that we had going on. I told him that, hey, I know you still got family out here in New Jersey. Next time you're in New Jersey, let us know, and we'll show you what we have going on over here. It'll be pretty cool. And we did just that. He ended up making a trip back out to New Jersey to visit the family, and he visited some of the old friends. We showed him what we had going on and how we were trying to go about making a little bit of money, or should I say currency. And he ended up telling me later that day that he doesn't really have a way of making money outside of his normal job, but he does have a pretty interesting or a unique or a different way of saving money once he gets his paycheck. I said, all right, let's hear it. And he told me that every week or every 2 weeks, whenever he gets paid, I don't remember how often he would do this, but every week or every 2 weeks, he would take his paycheck and he'd take, a small piece of it out. He'd go on over to his local coin shop and he would get himself 2 silver coins. With every paycheck, he'd go and get 2 silver coins. And I remember asking him, why in the world would you do that? And he was like, well, it's because they're made out of silver, pure silver. And I said, okay. I repeat myself. Why in the world would you do that? See, this was my first precious metal encounter. Of course, I had known about, jewelry and stuff like that, but I was never much into jewelry. I knew that gold was expensive, but if you offered me $1 million to let you know what spot price was back then, I wouldn't be able to take your currency because I wouldn't know. I would be like, what does spot price even mean? I didn't know. Why would I know? Why would I know something before I learn about it? So he let me know that he picks up 2 silver coins with every paycheck from his local coin shop, and it's his way of saving money. And I asked him, how exactly does that save money? Like, why can't you just hold on to the cash and just not spend it? Isn't that, saving money? And he said, kind of, but not really. You're saving the currency, but it goes down in value. If you convert it into something that stands a better chance of holding value, then you stand a better chance of actually saving money and preserving wealth. And I was like, oh, okay. That makes no sense, but all right. I had no idea what in the world he was even talking about. But I knew one thing. I knew it was interesting. I thought it was cool. I had never heard about it before. And I'm the kind of guy that when I hear about an unconventional or just a different way of going about doing things, it automatically catches my attention. I'm the type of person who likes to do things the opposite of what everyone else is doing. I've always been a contrarian, but not when it came to money or currency. I didn't know that there was another way. Why would I know that? I just went 12 years of school not hearing a word about any of this stuff. I had bank accounts, credit cards. I talked to people who worked at the bank. They didn't tell me any of this stuff. Why would I know? Why would you know anything before you know? You have to learn something before it's information in your head. This was all news to me at the time, so I kind of got smacked in the face by a big block of silver, I guess you can say. I had never heard about any of this before. I didn't fully understand it. I kind of got the concept, but I didn't fully grasp exactly what was going on. And that's probably because when it comes to silver and gold, or really when it comes to, most things, I like to think that most people are hands-on, visual learners. That's how I am. Like I said, I went through 12 years of school. I didn't learn anything. I don't remember a single thing that I learned in school. I'm a hands-on learner, not a classroom learner. I need to go through trial and error. I need to test things out for myself. I need to see what works. I need to see what doesn't. I need to fail. I need to make mistakes. That's the only way I learn. Maybe I'm just the type of person who needs to learn the hard way sometimes. But hey, it is what it is. That's just my learning style. And 12 years of formal education, plus a couple of years of college, not a single teacher, professor, instructor has been able to adjust their teaching style to match my learning style. It's just the way I roll, I guess. I don't know. But either way, I liked the concept. I liked the way things sounded. I didn't really know anything about it other than what he told me, but I thought it was pretty cool. And for some strange reason, I didn't really do a whole lot of research on it. It was just kind of just something that we talked about at the time. And then I had moved on. And then I don't remember exactly what happened, but about a year and a half later, toward the end of 2017, I don't know what reminded me. I really wish I could recall. I've thought about this for a couple of years now. I have no idea. But something reminded me of the conversation that me and my old friend Steven had. And it got me curious about silver again. It got me interested in silver. This was late 2017. So I did a little bit of research. I read through some articles. I had watched some videos. And I started to study the precious metals. So I hopped onto YouTube, which, by the way, I was already on at the time. Back then, I wasn't making silver videos, but I was still making videos every single day about other stuff. Just vlog style videos, like day in the life every day. It was ridiculous. I don't know why I was doing that, but hey, it is what it is. All gotta start somewhere. And I searched up some silver videos. And I came across a couple of channels. There were really only like maybe 4 or 5 channels at the time that were like really making videos about silver seriously. I'm gonna be honest, most of them were boring to me at the time. I've revisited those channels. Some of them still post, some of them don't. The ones that I thought were boring back then, not gonna lie, not throwing any disrespect out here, but I still find them boring. But there were 2 that stood out to me, and there were 2 channels that I liked: Overtaxed and Sal. And I had learned a lot about precious metals. I had learned a lot about prepping. And this was probably, I don't know, maybe around November of 2017. And then in December of 2017, I said, you know what? Enough videos, enough reading. I already made the decision. I mentally made the decision, but I didn't take action on it. So I went on over to my local coin shop and I went and got myself my very first piece of silver. As you can tell, I took it very, very seriously and went all in with just one little silver round. This was it right here. This was my very first piece of silver. Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Happiness, which kind of makes perfect sense for this channel. And on the other side, the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. People like to say, oh, why do you need this or why do you need that? I was like, yeah, you don't need it. It's not the Bill of Needs, it's the Bill of Rights. So that was my very first piece of silver ever, which I picked up at the local coin shop in December of 2017. Very shortly after, I went on to one of the precious metal dealing websites and I ordered a few more silver rounds. Now, what's funny about this is I didn't fully get it until I actually got my hands on a little piece of silver. It's one of those things. I don't know what it is, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm the one with the problem over here. I don't know. But I liked the idea of silver, but when I actually got my hands on a piece of silver, it all started to make sense. I was like, oh, so this is what real money feels like. This is not currency. This is not a little crumbled up piece of paper that has been God knows where. This is real money. Constitutionally recognized as money. Biblically recognized as money. Internationally recognized as money. This is real, true money. And it was the first time in my life that I actually had real money in my hand. For the first time in my life, I had something that wasn't currency in my hand. Which is why, just a couple of days later, I went on to one of the precious metal dealing websites. I don't remember which one. And I ordered a couple more. I think I ordered random design ones. I didn't know what I was gonna get. So I ended up getting, I know I got a silver buffalo, and I know I got a year of the snake. I might have just ordered those too. I don't remember exactly, but that's just basically what I did for the next couple of months. Again, this was December of 2017. So then moving on into 2018 to begin my first full year of stacking, I was pretty much doing what I was already doing. I was stopping by the local coin shop. I would pick up a couple of silver rounds from time to time. I would visit some of those precious metal dealing websites, and same thing, I would order some silver rounds, just a bunch of little 1 troy ounce pure silver rounds, nothing special. I never knew what I was gonna get. I have ones with Santa Claus on them. I have some with wrestlers on them. I have a bunch of silver buffaloes. I have sunshine rounds. I have Morgan dollar, peace dollar, designed rounds, I have A-Mark rounds, I have Liberty Bell rounds, you name it. A bunch of silver rounds, and that's all I was stacking. No coins, no 90%, none of that. It was only generic silver rounds. And I continued to do that for probably the first quarter, maybe even the first half of 2018. But then I remembered, or now I remember, that maybe close to halfway through the year, I started doing some more research on silver eagles, because at the time I didn't really understand the difference between a coin and a round. They're like, okay, yeah, one's minted by a government and one is not. I was like, all right, well, I understand that's the difference, but what difference is that supposed to make to me? I didn't really get it at first. But I was doing a little bit more research, maybe about 6 months deep into stacking, and I had learned that just for a slightly higher premium for a silver eagle over a silver round, you're getting a coin with much higher the ability to be recognized, your notoriety, your trust, respect, desire, whatever the proper word is. It's far more recognizable, and it's far more sought after no matter where you go. Not to say that stacking silver buffaloes or anything like that is a mistake. Absolutely not. Silver at the end of the day. But I decided for myself, again, this was mid-2018. Premiums were not an issue back then. Nobody was talking about premiums back then. And just for really a couple cents more, I thought to myself that, all right, I'm probably getting a whole lot more value for not a whole lot more currency. So I like to say that I graduated on from generic rounds to silver eagles. And also from time to time, I would throw in some maple leafs as well, just to spice things up, just for diversification. And that was my way of going about it for pretty much the rest of 2018 for the most part. And I remember there were a couple different things that happened in 2018. Again, that was my first full year of stacking. I remember Black Friday through Cyber Monday, I ended up getting myself my very first silver bar, which were 5 and 10 ounce silver bars. I ended up getting myself my first 90% silver, which was a nice big bag of Washington quarters, just because that there were different deals and sales and whatnot going on. I remember earlier in the year, I was actually in college at this point, and I remember slipping into empty classrooms, setting up the camera on the table, pointing it at the board, and I would do this video series that I called Wealth 101, where I would just get up in front of the empty classroom with the camera on the table and introduce myself as Professor Mykie and then talk about silver and gold. Also in 2018, I remember I made this April Fool's video talking about how I'm giving up on silver because I didn't get rich off of it. I was like, oh man, I've been stacking for about 5 months and it hasn't made me rich yet. I'm switching to gold. I was like, man, it's been such a long time of stacking, 5 months or 6 or 7 months, however long it had been. I don't remember. Of course, that was just an April Fool's joke. But that was pretty much, I'd say, 2018 in a nutshell. I really focused on silver eagles, and I made that the base of my stack. I focused a little bit on maple leafs. Those were pretty much second in command. I continued stacking generic rounds, but I eased back. I took my foot off the gas on those. I still liked them. I still thought that they were fun, but for whatever reason at the time, I was like, no, I want to be stacking coins. So that's what I did for the most part. And then toward the end of the year, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I got to spice things up. Got very low, almost non-existent premiums on a whole nice big bag of Washington quarters and 5 ounce bars, 10 ounce bars, and some random coins, Philharmonics, I believe. Some Canadian coins that I don't even remember what they're called off the top of my head. I just got a whole bunch of random stuff because there was this big giant blowout sale, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna use and abuse this. And that's what I did. And that's pretty much how to wrap up 2018. And then moving into 2019, the beginning of my second full year of stacking, I had decided for myself, since just that past November, I picked up my very first 90% silver. I decided in 2019 that this was going to be the year of integrating more junk silver into the stack. Even though at the time I really didn't like 90% silver, it just wasn't my thing. I didn't get jazzed up about it the way that I did when it came to pure silver coins or rounds or bars, eagles, maple, sunshine bars, doesn't matter. For whatever reason, I just wasn't all that enthusiastic about it. And I think it was just pretty much because it was nearly identical to the spare change that I had in my pocket my entire life up until I started stacking. I was like, it's not really anything new. I know it's made of silver and not miscellaneous, nonsense metal. It just wasn't exciting to me. So I didn't really care for it. I don't have any other explanation other than that right there. But then, when I got that bag of 90% Washington quarters, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, during that weekend, I still wasn't all that enthusiastic about it, but I understood the importance of diversification, and even though it wasn't anything I was all too excited about, I realized and came to the conclusion that it doesn't need to be something that I'm excited about. It's important. You don't have to be excited about something that's important. It's just something that needs to be done or should be done. So starting in 2019, I decided for myself that, I'm going to keep lasering in on pure silver, but every single time I pick up silver, I don't care if it's an ounce of silver from the coin shop, I don't care if it's 10 ounces of silver from the coin shop, I don't care if it's a box of silver from online, I don't care. No matter what, I will be including at least $1 face value of 90% junk constitutional silver every single time I get silver this entire year. And that's exactly what I did. The entire year of 2019 had gone by, and I was still dialed in on silver eagles. I was still picking up maple leafs on the side and some generic rounds from time to time, maybe the occasional silver bar. But no matter what I got, I always made sure to throw in at least 4 silver quarters, sometimes 10 silver dimes if they had them. And on very rare occasions, if I'd place an order online, surprise, surprise, I'd end up with 2 $half. Very, very rarely, but it did happen. Blew my mind. I never expected that, because every time I ordered $1 face value of random 90%, I always got silver quarters. I don't even think I got silver dimes, but 1 or 2 times I did get $half, which was pretty cool. So that's pretty much what 2019 was in a nutshell for me. I didn't really do very much that was different. All I did was integrate a little bit of 90%. And every single time I'd stop by the coin shop, or every single time I'd pick up some silver online, for the most part, it was almost like the same stuff each time. It would be a couple of silver eagles, maybe a maple leaf or 2, maybe a silver round or 2, and $1 face value of 90%. Seriously, I can go back into my order history and look at all of my 2019 orders that I placed online. They were probably all pretty much exactly the same. And in 2019, spot price didn't do anything all that crazy. It had gone up from, I don't know, it was about $17 when I started. In 2018, it kind of bottomed out around maybe $13, $14. Premiums were practically non-existent back then, and then it started picking back up toward the end of 2018, and throughout the course of the entire year of 2019, I remember spot price was, I don't know, $17, $18, maybe $19 at the time. But I didn't really do a whole lot different that year other than integrate the 90%. I do remember one thing though. I remember in 2019, I made an April Fool's Day video, another April Fool's Day joke, talking about, or I think the video was titled, "Silver is Garbage." And in the video, I went into great detail about how silver to me is absolutely worthless, and it's actually worth absolutely nothing at all. It's not even worth selling. It's only worth throwing away. And I said I didn't sell anything. I just threw it all in the dumpster. I said it's garbage. That's where it belongs. Of course, that was an April Fool's Day joke. But that was 2019 in a nutshell. I'm just speaking off the cuff right now. This is not scripted or anything like that. I just wanted to hit record, talk about what I wanted to talk about, and that's it. But I'm trying to think. 2019, not gonna lie, 2019 was kind of a blur. I don't think I did a whole lot different in 2019. But I definitely had to change up my strategy quite a bit in 2020. So wrapping up 2019 into the following year, or actually before we do that, in 2019 I actually opened up my very first investment account as well. I wasn't really investing. I don't even know if you want to call it dabbling. I was barely even doing that. I was more so just familiarizing myself with different, valuations and PE ratios and all that. I was just trying to learn. That's really what I was doing. But I was also partially dabbling as well. And it was a good time to start doing that. It was a good time to start familiarizing myself with the stock market, because look what happened in the first quarter of the following year. So then moving out of 2019 into 2020, the beginning of the year, I was pretty much doing the same thing I was doing in 2019. January and February, I was picking up some Silver Eagles, maybe some Silver Maple Leafs, just a few of them, maybe some generic silver rounds. Of course, I was throwing in some 90% junk constitutional silver with every order or every time I'd stop by the coin shop. That was just my strategy. And I was like, you know what? This worked pretty well in 2019. I don't think I'm going to change very much. Sure enough, March of 2020 happened. And the entire world got flipped upside down. Left became right. Up became down. Things that already didn't make sense were now making even less sense. It's like, what the heck just happened? In the blink of an eye, the entire stock market came crashing down, practically collapsed. The spot price of silver got chopped nearly in half. Like I said before, ending 2019, spot price was about 18, 19 bucks, give or take. And I remember it got hammered down all the way to $11.90 in the blink of an eye. Now, I will be honest. I spent all of 2018, all of 2019, and the first 2 months of 2020 saying the same thing. I love the red days. I celebrate the red days. And I'd prefer a red day over a green day, so I can get more silver for my dollars, more money for my currency, more value for my debt notes. So somebody that thinks the way that I do, and somebody who has the perspective that I have, the cheaper the better. That just means you can get more. Even though that may be true, I will be honest. It's very, I don't know if nerve-wracking is the right word, but it gives you a weird feeling, man. Out of nowhere, just in the blink of an eye, for it to just fall by almost 50%. Along with everything else, by the way. Gold came down a couple $100. Like I said, the stock market practically collapsed. Everything fell apart. The entire economy fell apart, like into, to shambles. Little bits and pieces, everything collapsed. Small businesses fell apart. Even large, massive corporations took a huge hit. And I didn't know what to make of that. So it's a really weird feeling, even though, I understand. I read the comments. I see what people are saying. I know that people miss 2018 prices. I know people miss $13, $14, $15, $16 silver, as do I. But hey, guess what? If you check your phone and see that spot price just is where it's at today, let's just say about $25, and you click refresh, and all of a sudden it's back down to $14. The thing you're automatically gonna feel is, I don't know if it's fear, but it's gonna shock you, and not really in the good way. It's like, oh my God, like you have almost like a heart attack in a way. Even if you'd prefer spot price to go down, that's really the best way I can explain it. Even if you're hoping and praying for the red days, and then you get that massive of a red day, it's gonna give you a little bit of a heart attack. And I remember seeing that happen. I remember checking and seeing it going down to $11.90 in the blink of an eye. And keep in mind, this was right around the time that small businesses were forced to shut down. You want to know a good example of a small business? The local coin shop. My local coin shop was closed for the entire year of 2020, actually. I don't think they opened up until the first quarter of 2021. Brutal. And I know a lot of people can relate to that. Small businesses or coin shops are small businesses, and small businesses were forced to shut down. You know, we're not going to get into my opinion on things like that, so I'll keep that to myself. But point being is that small businesses were forced to shut down, which means coin shops were forced to shut down, which means spot price went all the way down to $11.90. But the coin shop wasn't accessible. And then if you were to check any of these online precious metal dealing websites, a lot of them listed pretty much their entire website as out of stock, or so many people were running to the website that the site would just crash. You'd try to place an order and it would just say processing, and it wouldn't go through. And then all of a sudden, everything was listed as out of stock or coming back soon or whatever, and then all of a sudden later that week or like the next day, all of a sudden they were magically back in stock and their prices had like quadrupled. Which I understand. Supply and demand. I get it. I understand that that's how it should be. As a customer, it's inconvenient. Absolutely. As a business owner, that is 1000% how it should be. Nobody should tell you that you can't raise your prices however high you want to raise your prices. You could raise your prices by like 1000%, and you shouldn't have a single entity in the world saying, hey, you're not allowed to do that. We're telling you how to run your business. Nope. So even though it was brutal, even though it was painful seeing the premiums skyrocket the way that they did when spot price came tumbling down, you know, that is the way it should be. You should be able to do whatever you want with your business. But anyway, I remember this was the very beginning of the crash. This was the very beginning of everything that went down in 2020. And I actually held on to some of my currency. I know a lot of people did what I like to call panic stacking. A lot of people threw their dollars in because they thought, they're like, oh, this is it. The dollar bill is officially about to die. It's happening right in front of our eyes. This is the end of currency. And a lot of people just emptied out their bank accounts. A lot of people maxed out their credit cards, and they just dumped it all into silver and gold, expecting silver to just go to, I don't know, like $1 million or something like that. I don't know what their intentions were. I decided to play it safe, or safer, I should say, because with all of these small businesses shutting down, and again, I was in college at the time, and all of a sudden that, got pushed over to online. A lot of people were temporarily or, unfortunately permanently unemployed. I didn't know what this was going to mean for my own personal financial situation. So I was like, you know what? Even though I prefer money over currency, now might just make a little bit more sense to hang on to the currency, just because I don't know what exactly is going on. I don't know what any of this means. After about a month, I had realized, oh, okay, this was just a big, giant, worldwide overreaction. It's not nearly as serious as it was made out to be, and I just got right back to stacking. Before that month, I wasn't stacking any silver. I didn't know what was going to go on. I didn't know how my jobs were going to be impacted. I mean, here's a quick little backstory. At the time, I was working, I don't remember if it was late 2019 or early 2020, or maybe it was both. I don't remember, but I remember at the time, during the craziest or the busiest point of my life, I was working 3 different jobs, and I was going to 2 different colleges at the same time. That might sound ridiculous, but I was doing something called the dual enrollment program, I think it was called, where I was finishing my last 2 courses at one college while I was starting my first 2 courses at another college that I was transferring to. So technically I was a part-time student at 2 different colleges. I was working my regular job, I was working a part-time job, and I was working a seasonal job. All at the same time. This was all going on and I was running this YouTube channel, daily videos over here. And I was also live streaming, like, as often as I could as well. This was before the Precious Metals VIP Club. That's where I do my live streams nowadays. I try to do them every single Monday morning and every single Wednesday night. So if anybody's interested in the Precious Metals VIP Club, that link will be in the description. I also do giveaways every month and deal alerts on silver and gold almost every single day. And I post vlogs every Saturday morning. And I do a lot in the Precious Metals VIP Club. And I've been really dialed into that for, I think, going on 2 years at this point. And I want to really elevate that and take that to the next level. So that will be in the description. But anyway, back to 2020, pre-VIP Club. That's what my schedule was looking like. That's how crazy and hectic everything was. So I didn't know what exactly was going to happen. I was used to, you know, go. I was used to that toxic hustle, that 24/7, early mornings, late nights, 7 days a week. I was used to that. Then all of a sudden, I lost 2 of those 3 jobs. The seasonal job, the season had already come to an end, I believe, but then it never returned. My main job, I kept that, and I was already working from home to begin with, long before the pandemic. That's something that I always did. And then my part-time job shut down. So all of a sudden, we were off season, but it was just over. It wasn't coming back. The part-time job closed down, so I lost that for a short period of time. Then I got that back, and then it got shut back down thanks to Phil Murphy. He shut everything back down, I think, later that year or early 2021. I don't remember, but he shut it down for a second time for whatever reason. I know everything that I'm explaining right now is pretty chaotic, which sums up 2020 pretty well. But the thing that I had to change due to everything getting flipped the way that it did, unfortunately, Silver Eagles had become out of the question. Silver Eagles had all of a sudden somehow turned into a high premium coin. Silver Eagles that I used to get for like $1.75 over spot or something like that, we're now going for $10, $12, $13, $14, $15 over spot. So I said, screw that. I love the Silver Eagle. I do believe it's the superior pure silver 1 troy ounce coin, but it ain't worth that crazy premium, especially when I can get maple leafs for $5 over spot, or generic rounds for, you know, maybe $3 or $4 over spot. I don't remember what the premiums were looking like at the time. But one thing that I had noticed when the premiums got cranked up the way that they did was that the premiums on 90% silver hadn't really moved very much. And I don't know the reason behind this. I don't know why the premiums on silver went up the way that they did, but they didn't really seem to move on 90%. I believe, if I had to guess, now this is just my theory, I don't know, I believe that a lot of people turned to silver during that time when they didn't really know much about silver to begin with. They were just going after blocks of silver, or maybe they were even going after paper silver as well. I'm talking about the retail investors and the retail stackers. I'm talking about just normal people like us. I'm not talking about the big dogs or the hedge funds or the multi-billionaires or anything like that. I'm talking about all the people who frantically started buying in upon the crash of 2020 as a way of doing whatever in the world it takes to protect themselves financially. I think a lot of people that turned to silver were just going after silver bars and any silver round or coin that they can get their hands on. My theory is that they probably didn't know anything about constitutional silver. They probably see a silver quarter and have no clue that it's even silver. That's just my belief. I don't know. I could be dead wrong. I don't know. But one thing that I do know is that premiums on 90% weren't anything outrageous. They were still fair at the time. So the way that I changed my strategy was, now that I didn't have the ability to visit the coin shop anymore for a while, and now that I didn't have the ability to get the silver that I would prefer to be stacking, I switched on over to 90% silver almost exclusively for the entire year of 2020. That became my new focus. That became my new focal point. And that's just what I was stacking. And for the most part, that's really all I picked up. Now, of course, there were a couple of exceptions in 2020. I did end up picking up the Silver Kraken. I did end up picking up, I believe I got the 5-ounce Aztec calendar around that year. Maybe that was 2021, I don't remember. But I picked up a couple of pieces, and I started focusing a little bit more on gold from time to time as well. Because, yeah, the premiums on everything went up crazy, but they went up percentage-wise. The premiums went up far more on silver than they did gold. So I was like, all right, well, I could complain about the problem, or I could do something to combat the problem. When something becomes out of reach, move on to the next asset class. I mean, for example, yeah, spot price went down and everybody freaked out. But what if spot price did the exact opposite? What happens if the next event causes silver to just absolutely explode? What if silver went to some hypothetical number? Let's say $500 an ounce. I don't believe that's going to happen, but just for the sake of the conversation, let's just say spot price went up to $500. Would I still be stacking silver at $500? Probably not. I think at that point I might move on to something that I would view as undervalued. Silver at $500 an ounce? I don't know about that. But anyway, that was pretty much 2020 in a nutshell. Everything fell apart, and most of us who had already been stacking were scrambling to find ways to continue stacking, and a lot of us who weren't stacking at the time got introduced to stacking, and many of you did what needed to be done to learn about the precious metal world that you were getting involved in. So 2020 was definitely a lesson for everyone, including the people who had been stacking for years or even decades. So yeah, a lot of events took place in 2020. And a funny one that stands out to me was another April Fool's Day video that I did. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think I actually mixed them up. I'm pretty sure the silver is garbage one was the one that I did in 2020. I'm getting some of the April Fool's Day videos mixed up. But I had done one saying, oh, that's what I did. The first one that I did was saying that I was selling silver because I didn't get rich. The second one that I did, which was 2019, was saying that I'm selling all my silver to switch to gold. And then in 2020, the April Fool's Day video, it was that silver was garbage. I got those mixed up. I apologize. Again, this video, uncut, unedited. It is what it is. But those were the 3 April Fool's Day videos that I had done. But then moving on into 2021, thankfully at that point, certain things started to make a little bit more sense again. And also, by the way, in 2020, since I had my ability to stack taken away from me partially, the coin shop was closed and a lot of these online precious metal dealing websites were really cranking up the premiums. And like I said before, I support their right to do it, but it hurts. It hurt my soul. I was like, man, I can't pay $40 for a Silver Eagle. $45 cannot be done. So being that there was a bit of a roadblock when it came to stacking, I was still doing my thing. I was still focusing a little bit more on 90% whenever I can get my hands on it. But that was the year that I started to focus a little bit more on financial offense, because I had the ability to do so. There wasn't a roadblock standing in my way when it came to investing. And fortunately for me, that was the year that everything came crashing down. So I ended up getting some of the most valuable brands and companies on the planet for 20, 30, 40, 50% off. And that kind of got the ball rolling for me in terms of financial offense. But then moving on into 2021, stacking was making a little bit more sense again. The spot price had come back down a little bit. Remember in 2020, spot price went absolutely bonkers. Premiums went up, and then spot price went up, and it was crazy. And then in 2021, spot price started to simmer back down a little bit. A lot of people were returning back to work. Small businesses that were able to survive that long of being shut down were able to open back up. Things started to get to the point where, I don't want to say things were normal, but you can see a lot of different areas were normalizing again. Silver had become a little bit more accessible again. I had noticed that the premiums dropped down a little bit. Spot price dropped down a little bit as well, which means you can get a little bit more bang for your buck on silver. So I started cranking up on silver again, even though I already was. I started focusing a little bit more of my attention on that. I was continuing to keep the ball rolling in terms of investment, so I was simultaneously playing financial offense and defense at the same time, and prices were still really good on both, except toward really the second half of 2021. That's when the stock market really started to rally. That's when I kind of eased back a little bit and then dove back in head first this year when everything started to crash again. But 2021, I did whatever I could do, anything in my power, to get my hands on any silver I could. Now, for the most part, similar to 2020, I decided to stick with 90% junk constitutional silver for the most part. I made some exceptions, similar to what I did in 2020. I picked up the next creature of the north, which was the werewolf. I'm looking forward to the next one being released, hopefully within the next few months. 2021, I ended up getting more gold. I ended up stacking more gold in 2021 than I had stacked any year prior. In fact, I would probably assume that I got a majority of the gold that I own in 2021, if I had to guess. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. So I cranked up how much gold I was getting. I was able to crank up how much silver I could get at the time. And I also remember, speaking of April Fool's Day videos, I made another one in 2021. This time around, it was more of me pitching a business idea than anything else. I made a whole video saying that I was selling all of my silver and gold so that I could launch my own startup company. And the startup company was going to be focused around a flagship product, which was Karen repellent. That's right, anti-Karen spray. We've all met a Karen. We all know a Karen. We all see the videos of Karens freaking out, talking to everybody's managers and whatnot. Karen be gone, if you will. That was going to be my startup company. Of course, that was an April Fool's Day video. Can't sell my silver and gold to make anti-Karen spray. That was a joke, though. Everything I said in this video, on the other hand, is absolutely not a joke. You can probably tell from the my tone of voice. Never been more serious about anything in my entire life. I'm selling all my silver and gold to become a rapper. Yep. A Lil Stacky coming soon. I'll be changing my YouTube channel name to Lil Stacky. I won't be making silver and gold videos anymore. I'll be making silver and gold music videos. But anyway, though, that pretty much wrapped up 2021, and then obviously moving on into 2022, which is where we are right now. Not really a whole lot I can say about it. We're only on the first day of the 4th month of the year. Today we are entering Q2. So there's not really a whole lot I can say about the events that will be taking place this year because they haven't happened yet. But so far, we have seen the stock market pretty much start crashing the very beginning of January. Everything rallied for like the last, probably the whole second half of last year, or at least the last quarter of last year. It was just every single friggin' day was a green day. Couldn't buy anything. And I remember saying all throughout November, maybe even October, but I know I said it in November, and I know I said it for most of the month of December. I was expecting an end of the year rally. I'm sorry, I was expecting an end of the year sell-off. That's what I was personally expecting. Now, most Decembers, almost every December, we see an end of the year rally. I thought that this year was going to break the trend. Last year was going to break the trend. I thought that we were going to see an end of the year sell-off. And I thought this for a couple of different reasons. Number one, we were at all-time highs on dang near everything. So why not take some gains while you can? Why not sell a little bit? You don't got to sell everything, but why not sell a little bit? So I figured a lot of people were going to be doing that, and I thought a lot of people were going to be selling for tax loss harvesting purposes as well. I thought that maybe they would sell some of their losers of the year to wash out some of their gains so they wouldn't have to pay as much in taxes. So there were more reasons pointing to a sell-off than a rally. I ended up being wrong about it by one day. The entire month of December, we probably had like maybe 2 or 3 red days max, if I had to guess. The entire month was green, including the entire last week of the month, including the very last trading day of the year. It was a strong green day. And I remember saying, October, maybe November and December, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I'm not one of those people that say, when I'm right, it's because I'm smart, and when I'm wrong, it's because it's manipulated, it's rigged, it's a lie, it's fake news. No, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when I make a mistake. And there I was, the last day of 2021, and I was like, hey, all right, I guess I got that one wrong. All signs were pointing to a sell-off, but it didn't end up happening. The last trading day of 2021 didn't happen like I truly wholeheartedly expected it to. In fact, I would have been willing to place a bet on it. I would have lost a whole lot of currency at that point. Hang on, there's people walking around. But point being was that in 2021, the last trading day of the year, we didn't get that sell-off. But you want to know what we did get on the very first trading day of this year? We got the beginning of the sell-off. I don't know what took everyone so long, but starting on the very first trading day of January, everything started to tank. The entire month of January, everything just kept falling and falling and falling, getting kind of close to a crash, getting closer and closer and closer to what's technically referred to as a bear market. Everything was just collapsing in January. I was like, man, if this happened one day sooner, I would have been right. So I was wrong by one day. But hey, it is what it is. So that's pretty much how 2022 has gotten off to a start anyway. That was January. The first half of February, things continued on that downtrend. Silver and gold actually stood strong. Silver and gold have actually climbed up a little bit this year. And in fact, I got to look at the numbers again, but I remember making a video about it in mid-February saying that so far, year to date, silver's actually outperforming gold, which I thought was pretty cool. I'd have to look at the numbers again. But point being is silver and gold, they were standing tall, they were standing their ground, they were standing strong, they were climbing while everything else was coming crashing down. And that downward trajectory continued into mid-February. Then it started to pick up a little bit. We started seeing, it would kind of go back and forth between red and green days. And then March, there was a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt related to everything going on with the Federal Reserve and not knowing if we were going to get rug pulled or what was going to be going on at the FOMC meeting. We know that the Federal Reserve tries to be as predictable as possible. We know that when they say something, they do everything in their power to stick to it, because if they change their game plan, or if they change their mind, or if they surprise anyone with something that was unpredictable, you run the risk of a market shock, which is not what they want to do. So they try to be as predictable as possible. And a lot of people thought that maybe this time around they're going to do something unpredictable. So a lot of people were pricing that in. A lot of people were pricing in what's going on with, Russia and Ukraine. People, you know how the markets are. Over dramatic. Geopolitical conflict is going on, and the markets decide, oh no, it's World War III, sell everything. Or the Federal Reserve makes a little comment on inflation, saying, hey, we're going to do what needs to be done, but we hope to stick to the game plan. And the market says, oh no, we're going to get rug pulled, everything's going to go to zero, rate hikes are going up through the roof, everything's going to get flipped upside down, sell. You know how the markets are. That's pretty much been 2022 in a nutshell so far. We just wrapped up the first quarter of the year. We're now moving into the second quarter of the year. God only knows what the rest of the year is going to bring us. Hopes and prayers. It's a good year for all of us. That's what I'm focused on. It's going to be a good year for DYDSS. It's going to be a good year for those of us who are stacking. It's going to be a good year for those of us who are investing. It's going to be a good year for Lil Stacky, the rapper, coming soon to a YouTube channel near you. I just thought that, I don't know, clock hit midnight, something came over me, and I just decided, hey, you know what? I looked at my calendar, I said, oh wow, I didn't even realize it's April 1st already. Just seems like a good time to make the announcement. So anyway, in conclusion, that was how I first discovered silver. That's when I first got involved in silver. That was my very first year of stacking, my second year of stacking, my third year of stacking. That was 2018, 19, 2020, 2021, and now the first 3 months of 2022. In a nutshell, all in 1 hour. I just summarized a little over 4.5 or almost 4.5 years in an hour. This is probably one of my longest videos. That isn't a live stream, that is. But anyway, coming around full circle, I'll be heading on over to the local coin shop later today. Thankfully, they were able to survive and they were able to open back up in 2021. I'll be forking over a majority of my silver, a majority of my gold, so I can finance the pursuit of a career as a rapper called Lil Stacky. If you guys like today's video, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Subscribe to my second channel for weekly videos. Go and get yourself some DYDSS merchandise to help support the channel in the biggest possible way. We got t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, coffee mugs, and a bunch of different designs. A lot of the products are actually raising some funds and awareness for different charity organizations, by the way. DYDSS store will be linked in the description. Come and join us in the Precious Metals VIP Club, which is where I do giveaways every single month, live streams multiple times a week, deal alerts on silver and gold every single day. You can watch all of my videos early and commercial free. Every Saturday morning I post a brand new adventure vlog, and there are a ton of other perks as well. I guarantee you the value exceeds the cost. VIP Club link in the description. And of course, make sure to go and get your free couple of stocks by downloading Webull and funding your account. They have different promos that go on month to month. I'm not exactly sure what the April promos are. I haven't checked just yet. I wish I did that before filming the video, but I don't know. So I'll let you know tomorrow or you can just click my Webull link and check. It'll say when it pops up. Webull link in the description. And I want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on my new idea? Selling all my silver and gold to chase my dream of becoming a rapper named Lil Stacky. I'll be selling all the coins, all the rounds, all the bars for the most part. I'm keeping this one though, that's for sure. And I'm keeping everything that was sent in as a gift to the channel as well. But for the most part, everything else, I'll be selling the stack so that I can use the currency to start my career as a rapper. Head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace. Oh yeah, April Fools.